Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and I just want to give you all a brief overview of my HO scale model railroad. I've been working on this plan here for about the last 7 years, and this video is just going to kind of show you around a little bit, just a general description of what I've been doing with it, and hopefully in the future I can make some more videos of certain projects I'm working on or tips that I've learned. Um, so this is the Blackstone Branchline. It's the name of a fictional town. Well, anywhere up in the Midwest, it's fictional. There is no such town that I know of as Blackstone, and it's just kind of a freelance model railroad. And this main switch yard here is the only thing prototypical on the whole thing. I wanted to make it in the general design of the Milwaukee Road switch yard that was located up in Wausau, Wisconsin back in the day. And I have the turntable, a 5-stall engine house facility. This is a Walther's turntable. It is not powered. Not right now, anyway. And most of my structures here are Walther's kits, but this is the Rick's kit, and it was actually pretty good to work with. Pretty easy to do, and you can make your own, custom layout of the buildings too. So I was pretty impressed with that. This layout has code 100 track, and at the time I was building this model railroad, there was pretty much a worldwide shortage of the code 83. I really had my heart set on the code 83 track just because of how prototypical it looked. But, well, I had to settle for code 100. These are mainly Walthers and Atlas turnouts, and I do not have any that are powered. It's just strictly, everything is manual. And actually, I do prefer the manual turnouts because it kind of gives you that interaction with your own layout. In this switch yard here, the first two tracks 1 and 2, are for building the daily road train. That's where that road train is assembled at. The main line runs right down the center of this switch yard. Kind of, it's indicated with the white ballast. The other tracks, 4 and 5, are for storage. Really have no purpose at the moment. But the far end of this switch yard, these are 2 interchange tracks. And it's for the Chicago Northwestern interchange because primarily I wanted to do a Milwaukee Road type theme. And the structure, it's all built on 2x4s at a 52-inch table height. 52-inch max table height with the 1-inch extruded foam board for the main base. And I didn't use 1x1s because it was actually cheaper for me at the time just to use 2x4 construction to make all the bench work. Most of my scenery is made out of plaster cloth and foam, and just simply brush on paint. I have a little hill here. And my mind isn't set on all the dimensions yet of the roads. I know that prototypically, this road would be too wide, but I do plan on having sidewalks on each side because it's supposed to represent more of an urban type feel to it, right next to the Blackstone switchyard. So this Code 100 track, most of it's just flex track. And the corners are a minimum of 27-inch radius, because I did plan on running longer trains. So we get into this section over here. This is the ADP grain elevator. Well, this side says ConAgra Farmers Union, but it can be ADP, or ADM, I'm sorry, Archer Daniels Midland. I built a little roadway here with a scale house on it. And this was one of the original grain elevators I did buy when I first started this layout. And I decided to keep it and kind of blend it in with the newer style grain elevator. I have to go underneath here quick to transition over to the other side. So one moment. No, I do not have a lift out portion on this layout. This is the Branch River down here. And again, continuing on the main line. Some of these trees I did, they're real trees too. Real twigs, I should say. I just added the lichen material to them. But the main trunks and branches of the trees, they're actually real little branches. So the main line curves around and it gets into the biggest industry here on my layout, which is the paper mill. Again, Walther's kits. I don't even know if these are all available anymore. I think I bought them at the right time. This was my summer project. Took 3 months to assemble everything. And at the paper mill, there's a small ladder yard here. The ladder design. There's a small runaround here. It's for sorting cars. The mill here, it does have a dedicated switch engine for it. You can see this entry's back here. That's for chemical unloading. You know, various talc powders or kaolin clay or bleach. I built these water clarifiers right here out of different size PVC pipes. Just cut them down. Again, the main line continues around to the back side of the paper mill. And I added this little stub track sticking out, just, I don't know, kind of give a reason to look inside of it. This is a scratch built portion of the mill. This is where the chemical unloading would be. Somebody told me it would be cool to put a little bit of stretched cotton out of the stacks. Makes it look more active. I do agree. On this side of the paper mill, we have the digesters, where the wood chips would be broken down. You can see here is just a small unloading facility for the wood chips. And then everything else would be transported underground with conveyor belts going up into the digesters where it's broken down and then back out to this building here. That becomes the power plant, by the way, for the paper mill. I bought this Walther's kit here. It's just a fire station, but I thought it would look kind of nice, just like as an office and maintenance complex. Added a parking lot. Look at that, no cars. Nobody's working at the paper mill today. And here's the wood chip plant. This paper mill has these three wood chip hoppers that are dedicated to this mill. They do have where they unload out from the bottom. And that's where they would go back up to this right here to unload the wood chips down into. Various types of pulp, various different grades and diameters. As you can see, everything is a kit. Everything is a model here. Continuing on, this main line. This is where the Dawson Lake is located, part of it, just to give you an indication of a lake. And I scratch built, this is a dam, Dawson Dam. Couldn't find any kits online, I had to make my own. More plaster cloth and stacked foam rock formations. So I'm going to duck underneath once again to get a view of the other side of the dam. By the way, while I'm under here, this is the bus line. Oh, I didn't mention, but I do not have DCC yet. This layout right now is DC, standard DC. Working on upgrading to DCC, maybe within a year or two. It's the other side of Dawson Dam right here. Goes underneath this double truss bridge. Got some little kettle ponds here. Kind of typical of the upper Midwest, at least around here in Wisconsin anyway. Main line is to the left. This track that is on the right side, that's actually a spur that leads to the grain elevator facility. From what this area is going to be is small town of Finn, F-I-N-N. This is the Finn Agri Center over here. More Walthers kits, fuel and gasoline storage, and the feed mill. And I do plan on having a fertilizer unloading area back here. Just like a fertilizer, not a plant, but just for storage. And Finn also has a small lumber yard. Not sure what I'm going to have over here yet. Probably a few houses to make it look more like a small town. And I use vinyl spackle for the roads. Just paint it over. Also add black chalk too, works pretty good. And get into this rough country area here. There's no tunnel. The main line just goes through a little canyon in the back. I can show you that too in a moment. This is the rock quarry. And this rock quarry is part of this Walthers kit over here. It's a rock crusher and wash plant, and also a ready mix plant, which does get the concrete or the cement powder delivered here with the covered hopper car. And then for a little depth, I added this like a backdrop of a more mined out area where they once took out rock and still do. I'm going to have a little pocket back here, and that's where the trucks and heavy equipment would unload the raw material, and then it's brought over on that conveyor belt into that silo there. Three tracks here for the quarry. So this would make just, this plant would crush the rocks down to smaller aggregates and or railroad ballast. Here's a freight house. And I started making these just little portable backdrop scenes, little hills and stuff. And then here it comes back around main line to what would be called the south end of the Blackstone yard. So I'm going to duck underneath one more time and I'll show you the back side of that canyon. This was one of the first projects I did on this layout. So all the lumber came through that little window. 8-foot boards. I don't know how many 2x4s I had. And then the 4x8 sheets of extruded foam board came down my stairs. It's a little view of that canyon, 27-inch radius. And then that rock cliff in the background. So that just about takes care of this overview here of this layout. Thank everybody who watched it. I'll try to post more. So this is the HO scale Blackstone Branchline. 7 years of progress so far. Have a good evening and thank you for watching.